Hey, how's it going? It's your boy Jeff. Here's a different view for you. Just decided to add a little bit of sunlight to the view of the video. We're going to be reviewing from WWF In Your House 1998. We have ourselves the main event of the evening. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Dude Love, a.k.a. Mick Foley, with Vince McMahon as the special guest referee, Gerald Briscoe as the special guest, I don't even freaking know, timekeeper, and Pat Patterson is like the special guest ring announcer. Basically this story is leading up to a big 4-on-1. They're trying to get Stone Cold to not be the champion anymore. And there's this angle where it's like Vince McMahon's bragging about how he assaulted the champ and got away with it. The police are out there and Stone Cold's like, well, maybe you should arrest that son of a bitch, and that's kind of the build that's been going on Monday Night Raw, and Vince is putting together this master plan basically to make sure that Stone Cold does not walk out your WWE champion. So we see Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe, one by one kind of make their way down to the ring. Same thing with the special guest ref, Vince McMahon. They do the intros, and it's a bunch of glowing stuff about Dude Love, and Pat Patterson's basically calling Stone Cold Steve Austin a prick and all this other stuff. Stone Cold comes down, and also one other story beat that I forgot to mention is basically Vince McMahon is saying that, no one on this roster scares me and this and that, and how no one's going to step up to take your side, Austin. And The Undertaker kind of forces himself in there to be like an enforcer to make sure that this does get called down the middle. And, like I said in my other review, instead of just going beat by beat, move by move, or whatever, play by play, I do want to kind of summarize all the action by just saying this. This was a freaking great match. Everything about this was great. The crowd, number one. I mean, especially considering the last crowd we had was really like WrestleMania in WWE, which, yeah, it wasn't that long ago, but think about the long periods of time where we really haven't had an electrifying crowd. The crowd was all into this match, man. Stone Cold literally had a great ovation, and, just the crowd was red hot for Stone Cold per usual. And JR even dropped this line. They were in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, close to Green Bay. I am a Packer fan, if you didn't know. JR was saying, this is the biggest stand ovation for Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is a bigger standing ovation for him than Brett Favre in Green Bay. And I'm just like, all right, look, chill. Okay, let's relax here, okay? Great match, though, man. I loved everything about this. Is it a 5-star match? No, but I'll get to that later. Action starts out a little bit slow, and then, after that, it just picks up, and it's like these guys are doing everything they can to get rid of that championship. Like a little bit into the match, they say, Vince McMahon signals to Pat Patterson, hey, we need to quote-unquote remind people that this is a no disqualification match. So they do that. And then another point in the match, it's like Vince is like, I'm going to make sure that you don't lose by count out, or you don't retain by count out, basically. So it's like Vince is saying, yeah, we're not doing count outs, and yeah, it's no disqualification now. And Vince was saying that the only way that this match will end, and he says this in a backstage interview, I know I'm all over the place, but just bear with me. He says in a backstage interview before the match that the only way that the decision will be made is because of my hand making the call and doing all that stuff. And that does come into play, obviously, at the end. So it's like they're changing the rules on the fly. Now they say, like, oh, it's a falls count anywhere match because Mick Foley hits this big swinging neck breaker onto the outside. And then they're a little bit up the entrance ramp. Not really all the way up there. But it should be noted that this over-the-edge set, there was, like, a bunch of cars and stuff. A bunch of junk cars and, like, some lights and stuff. And there were some really good spots. Like, Mick Foley, Dude Love, went for the elbow drop. He missed it. But there was another cool spot, man, where Stone Cold gets kind of tossed. And he slides onto a car, hits the floor. And Mick Foley uses that car that Stone Cold slid on to hit a sunset flip. Thought it was pretty dope. Especially in 1998. The creativity back then was, like, spot on. A1. But this match was just all over the place. And then towards the tail end of the match, we do see the screwiness. We do see them trying to get involved and trying to speed this up. Like, okay, we need to get Dude Love the title. So we see at the end of the match, Stone Cold is kind of red hot or whatever, and he hits a stunner on Dude Love, and Vince McMahon's just like, screw it, I'm not counting. I ain't counting this. And then, the rule was if Stone Cold lays a hand on Vince, he's going to strip Stone Cold of the title and give it to Dude Love. So what ends up happening at this point is, okay, Pat Patterson gives Mick Foley a steel chair, and he's going to town on Austin with it for a bit. And then he goes to swing on Austin again with the steel chair. It just so happens Stone Cold is standing in front of Vince McMahon. He ducks, Vince eats the chair, and Vince is out. And they try to go for the mandible claw like multiple times. And the Undertaker's still like chilling, walking around as the special enforcer. Can't forget about him. And then we see Pat Patterson try to count to 3 after a mandible claw. Taker pulls him out, choke slams him through one table. Gerald Briscoe goes in. I don't know why he thought this would be a wise decision with the Undertaker right there. He grabs him and choke slams him through the other announce table. And then we see Stone Cold ultimately get out of all that, hit the stunner, and Stone Cold's like, I'm going to drag Vince McMahon's lifeless body and force him to count 3. And the 3 count is made. Stone Cold retains the title. And just based on everything, based on the package, the interviews, just all the theatrics leading up, and then the match itself, and the crowd and everything, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. I was debating, like, should I just give it the full-on 4 out of 5? And I am, because I had a lot of fun with this. I know I kind of bounced off the wall, but I did kind of hit all my points that I feel like I needed to make. So hopefully you guys enjoy. And if you do miss the authenticity of the crowd and you kind of get into that rabbit hole a little bit, I do recommend this match. I do, seriously, because everything that goes on, it's just cool, man. It's just a lot of fun seeing Stone Cold overcome the odds, the real superstar that he is. And Dude Love in this weird relationship, and he comes out to the ring with a blazer and stuff. Like, it's just cool. I would recommend watching this. But hopefully you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you around for the next one.